And we're back, guys. How's everyone doing? I'm your host, Good Energy. Today, we're going to take a look at this matchup between Queenwen and Jasmine Paolini, aka Little Italy, aka Ciao Bella. Yes, it's early, guys. Early in the morning. I'm a bit tired, but listen, tennis is life. And as usual, this video is brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use, the Fair Dealing, and the Digital Millennium Act. Before we get to that matchup, let's quickly talk about Iga and Coco again. Great matchup yesterday. And look, it's tough. I hate seeing Iga lose. Iga's been so dominant over the years. And it's like when you see Iga lose, it's just, you could tell it really takes its toll on her. And just like every player, right? Every competitor, especially these elite players, the best 8 in the world. Pegula as well. Seeing Pegula lose, it's tough because she just has those facial expressions where you just feel bad for her. And Coco as well. Seeing Coco, get frustrated and lose knowing that she's so good. She has such great instincts and abilities. Just seeing her lose also hurts. I think of all the ladies here, the two that handle losing the best, in my opinion, I'd probably say Rebecca. She's very mentally tough, doesn't really show much emotion on the court. I would say, I think Jasmine's in there, even though I think she holds a lot of it in. I would say Queenwen, but lately she's been out of control. We have to be honest. Lately, Queenwen, she's having outbursts at fans. She's starting. I don't know if the fame is starting to get to Queenwen, but she's starting to get pretty out of control, I would say. And maybe Sabalenka. I think Sabalenka holds it in a lot, but I think I don't think anyone handles losing good this day and age with social media, but I do kind of think that Sabalenka, because, when you see her, for example, the U.S. Open when she lost to Coco, she jokes a lot. Even in Brisbane, when she lost to Elena Rybakina, she jokes a lot in the, Stuttgart trying to break the Porsche window. I think she's using humor to kind of mask her sadness. But I think overall, though, just seeing Iga Pegula lose, it's tough, And Coco, look, it's about time, right? Look, it's only the second win out of 13. We know that. But I've talked a lot about why the ladies, especially Coco, sometimes struggle in matches. And a lot of it's the game plan. A lot of it's how your coach is preparing you. But again, I think Coco has been such a great student to the game that she wants to please her coaches. She wants to execute the game plan, and she's really trying to do that. But I don't think she's had the right game plan the last year and a half, starting with the serve just not suiting her, going out there, trying to execute the game plan for her coaches, overthinking, just taking away her natural instincts, her speed. Just too many issues with the game plan. And I just feel she's the type of talent where, and some of you guys may not remember, but she beat Queenwen at 13 years old to win the Orange Bowl. And Queenwen's older than her, So these ladies, they do know each other. They know who Coco is. Coco was, and this is why she's the most marketable player right now on tour, because she's been big for a long time, And I just think being consistent with her being this teenage phenom, she was known as a genius. She was known as this just smart young player that's great at problem solving. If you look at Coco when she first came on the main tour, she was very tactical and defensive. Great topspin, very patient, more of a counterpuncher with her backhand, right? She wasn't that aggressive because she was figuring out her opponents, constructing the point. I think when she first came to the main tour, I noticed a change to where, because listen, especially when you're younger, when you make that leap to the main tour, you notice the big difference between juniors and professionals is power. And I noticed Coco got into these fire duels, these battles, these sword fights when she started to try and overpower opponents. I think that kind of changed her game a little bit. And then you factor in, bringing in coaches that just kind of want the players to play how they coach, versus maybe preparing a proper game plan for your player and using their strengths. I think it kind of led Coco down a path to where she struggled a bit, and she was still having success, right? She still made a slam final at a teenager, right? The French Open, remember that year, 22. She made the doubles final with Pegula and herself, and she made the singles final against Iga, where she lost. So she's still winning tournaments. She's still going deep in draws. And people forget because she's been so big of a personality and tennis star, she's had the toughest draws. And I don't think these casual fans realize that Iga was always in her draw. Simona Halep, Serena in her draw, putting all these elite players in her draw, established players, to generate the revenue. They want people to tune in and say, hey, look, if Coco wins this match, she'll face Venus. She'll face Serena. All of these stars were put in, elite players were put in her draws early on. And she had to learn, Osaka, all those battles with Osaka. Don't forget, she's played all of them. I mean, look at all the players in the top 10, top 15, top 20 that Coco's played. She's by far played most of them, in contrast to any other player. She's played Sabalenka 8 times, for crying out loud. She's played Iga 13 times. Pegula, she's played 6 times. She's played like 7 times. Caroline Garcia, Osaka like 4, 5, 6 times. She has been playing the best of the best for so long. And I just think that now she's in a place where she's mentally comfortable with her game and just handling the problem solving as it comes up within the match. And I think you're going to see Coco. And I've been saying it for a while, been watching her game for a while. I think we're at a point where we're going to see Coco really start to dominate the tour, right? If you look at this matchup with Iga Swiatek, it looks like she's at a crossroads where she's changing her game. She's modifying her game to where she's not wanting to be that aggressive player that's always looking for stamina and energy and trying to hold her opponents up to buy time. It looks like she wants to, because look, when you're playing fast and aggressive like that, it's draining. It takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of recovery. And I just think we're at a point where, and look, being on top for so long is tough. It's tough because everyone has a bullseye. Everyone has a target to work towards to. And eventually the tour catches up with you. And I think we're at that point where next year we're going to see the 2 best hard court players on tour, which is Sabalenka and Coco, really, really take off. Iga just has never really been known as a great hard court player. She does have a U.S. Open title, and she has a lot of master titles. But when it comes to the slams, like the Australian Open, she's never really done great there, right? She's done good, but it's never been her tournament. We all know Iga's the clay queen. She prefers clay. And I think the 2 best hard court players, without a doubt, Sabalenka and Coco, if they get hot, and Sabalenka's already been hot, by the way, but if Coco gets hot again at this year's Australian Open, which I think she will, I think she wins it. Last year, most likely should have been her second slam. But we're going to see in the coming years, and especially the coming months, especially the year 2025, I think Coco's really going to take off. But nonetheless, guys, again, quick recap how she played against Iga. She played phenomenal. She played really, really phenomenal. And, again, despite she still gave away nearly 3 service games and mistakes, she still got the job done. She's going to be a dangerous woman. The only undefeated player here, along with Aryna Sabalenka. Good chance those 2 could be in the final. But we have a matchup here to discuss. Queenwen taking on Jasmine Paolini. Listen, These two ladies have played some big time matches. They've played 3 times, and Queenwen's won all of them. It's been big matches: semifinals, quarterfinals, finals. That final in Palermo, I covered that match. And here's the thing: Queenwen, a lot of people expect her to win this match, and she's taking on Paolini, who has a short center of gravity. She's very fast, and I think Queenwen, I just mentally, I don't know. I don't know if she's stable right now mentally. You know what I mean? She's having a lot of outbursts, and normally that's a sign of something deeper on the inside, right? And someone like Jasmine, who's just calm, she's relaxed, I think that's going to definitely continue to help her thrive on tour, but it's going to get her through these tough situations, you know? And I mean, if we take a look at Queenwen and Paolini, the last time they faced each other, Queenwen won it in 3 sets, and it was in Wuhan recently. And if you take a look at that match, Queenwen put up an amazing service clinic. 10 aces, she won 72% of her first serves, and she really pressured Paolini into 8 breakpoint opportunities. But Paolini had 6 of her own, right? So Paolini got some breakpoint opportunities. The match against Sabalenka is what I really want to take a look at because it's most comparable to what I think Paolini is going to face here. Paolini's got to serve better, right? She had 3 double faults. She only got 60% of her first serves in, and she lost 41% of those and 62% of her second serves. She's going to have to serve a lot better if she's going to beat Queenwen here. The matchup against Elena Rybakina, again, struggling to get her first serves in play, under 60%, only 58%. She did win 70% of her first serves, but she lost 44% of her second serves. Sarah Irani said it best. She said it's very tough for Jasmine to play singles and doubles. It's very exhausting. And I told you guys last time out, looking at Paolini, someone I watch all the time, I don't think she's in her best form. She's just not. At least she doesn't appear to me. She's very winded. You could tell. And yes, the elevation has a lot to do with that. I think Queenwen's in far better conditioning right now than Paolini, without a doubt. I've watched Jasmine for a long time. She's not in her best form. Queenwen against Elena Rybakina, she played pretty good. 8 aces. She won 80% of her first serves. 6 aces. She won 80% of her first serves. She did give Rybakina 13 opportunities to break her. But again, I say it all the time, Queenwen is going to win 80% of her first serve. She holds serve. So if you're going to beat her, you're going to have to hope she makes a mistake and has a bad service game. Just like against Sabalenka, she wins 82% of her first serves. By default, I have to go with the player that's serving better, and that's Queenwen. She's going to put up 8 to 10 aces. She's going to win a couple service games without Jasmine even touching the ball. She's going to hold 8 out of 10 of her serves. It's going to be tough to beat. So therefore, we're going to take Queenwen to win this match. That's a prediction, guys. Stay tuned for more tennis coverage, and we're going to take a look at Elena Rybakina versus Aryna Sabalenka. We'll be back. Thank you for the love and support, guys.